That's what scuba stands for. All right, Josh, check the new stream, see if it works. Yes.
Maybe you'll be the first person and say hi.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah? Wow. There is a delay. All right, lower the volume. Nope, Shirley was. Okay. Again, I apologize. I accidentally kicked out the microphone, and I don't know how to get to work. Originally, I wanted to pair my earbuds with the Chromebook so that I could just like walk around with the thing in my ear. But I was able to get the earbuds to connect to the Chromebook to listen to stuff, but I wasn't able to get the Chromebook to or the YouTube to recognize the earbuds as my microphone. Yeah. That would have been cool. I could walk wherever the heck I wanted then. Hands-free. Anyway, back to this. So Bengal, they wanted an additive shift for Bengal. By the way, check this out. I learned something. You can highlight the image and then do this. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. Anyway, they want an additive shift of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What are you doing to me? So if I'm trying to do Bengal, let's see, Bengal. Walk up here. Bengal would turn into T. Where is it? W. What is that down there? An F? Yeah. F. G. A. L. That is what Bengal would be done using that Caesar shift. Kind of nice. I don't know how to pronounce that. My word. Anyway, so that's how you do it. TWFYSD. And then they wanted you to do this other word that you wanted to decrypt using a shift of 13. So hold on, that's what, 4 more? No, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say it again. The N is on top of the A, right? Yes. And if you notice, even for the multiplicative shift, N kind of plays a role with that number 13. You know, man, that's amazing. Nobody gets me. No, I said that's amazing. So now we're working backwards. N, Z, N, M, V, A, T. That is what we have to decipher using that Caesar wheel. So now we're working backwards. The N on top goes back to an A in the plain text. The Z goes to an M. The N we know goes back to an A. The M goes to a Z. The V goes to an I. The N goes to an A. Oh, no. Sorry, I was going backwards. It was weird. I meant the A goes to an N. There we go. And then the T goes to a G. Amazing. Oh, yeah. That's how that thing would roll out. Let's see what comes next with this. To encrypt the word tiger with a multiplicative shift of 15. Oh, multiplicative shift of 15. Goodness gracious. I'm going to have to do this thing up here. So let's see. Plain text. I'm going to have to do my alphabet here, right? So we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Move over here. O, P, Q, R, S, T, over there, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now, we all know it starts off at 0 for A. We all know it starts off 0 for A. This thing should go in the order of row 15. There we go. So 0, 15, 4. 0, 15, 4. 19, 8, 23. 19, 8, 23. 12, 1, 16, 5. 12, 1, I already forgot it. 16, 5, 20. 16, 5, 20. 9, 24, 13, 2. 9, 24, 13, 2. That's how I know I'm doing this correctly. Get the 13 for the N. 17, 6, 21, 10. 17, 6, 21, 10. 25, 14, 3, 18. 25, 14, 3, 18, 7, 22, 11. 18, 7, 22, 11. There we go. There's my multiplicative shift. So I have my plain text on top, and now I got to fill in my cipher alphabet. So literally, this is what the procedure that I usually do. There's an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. That's how I know I'm correct. N. Force element. Where is it? Ah, there it is. N, O, P, Q. I'll separate these here and here and here. There we go. That's better. Element of P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. There we go. What was the word we had to do? Tiger? Sweet. Okay, so if we're doing tiger, tiger would become Z, Q, M, I, V. So you said you feel you did something wrong. Was it something wrong in the numbers, or was it something wrong in the cipher alphabet?
Probably the cipher alphabet, because I do one.
Ooh.
So being lazy.
Ooh.
I have the mod thing pulled up, so I was just counting on my hands. Hey, I got fingers.
You do, but you only got 10 of them.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I'm just saying, it's a lot easier just to write out the alphabet. Yeah. I know, but it takes a little bit of time, but we can get that thing done. Then we had to decipher XASC with a shift of 9. XASC with a shift of 9. So we got to do XASC with a shift of 9. There it is. Good. So let me do it like this then. Just going to erase the numbers and the cipher alphabet. If I erase the numbers and the cipher alphabet, then I can fill in everything else. I keep the same alphabet. Should be 09, 18, 1. There we go. 09, 18, 1. 10, 19, 2, 11. 10, 19, 2, 11. I did not leave myself enough room. Oh, well. 23, 12, 21. 23, 12, 21. 4, 13, 22, 5. 4, 13, 22, 5. 14, 23, 6, 15. 14, 23, 6, 15. 24, 7, 16. 24, 7, 16. And then 25, 8, 17. And then we do our ABCs. Where's 1? Ah. Good job. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. It's interesting. Look at the first bunch of letters in the order that they appear in. I find that interesting. I don't know why. Does it work for the rest of them too? H-I-J-K-L-M-N-O-P. There must be some kind of a property that takes place between 26 and 9. Like 26 and 9 have no common divisors, but
4.5, I guess.
Whatever. Element of P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then we go X ask. And notice I wrote X ask in red because that's my ciphertext, and I want to go back to my plain text. So going back to my plain text, X ask, or A, I should say. Where's S is C, and then K. So it's just race. All right. Yeah. But dude, solving a code, solving a cipher, that could be the difference between saving the world.
I don't think Josh is going to save the world.
What if he does?
I hope Josh is successful in life, but I don't think he's going to save the world.
What if saving the world came down to him walking up to like a row of 5 buttons and pressing one of them would save the world? He'd be like, meh, you did it.
Yeah, I press them all at the same time.
Why?
Well, because one of them's got to work.
But what if the other ones blew up the world?
Well, then the one that did blow up the world, you press that at the same time too.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like the timer on the bottom increased like a little faster, and then it stopped because you pressed it right.
I gotcha. Now, in terms of an assessment that I'm going to give you guys, when I give you this assessment, when I assign this assessment, when I give you a multiplicative shift, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to have you do not multiple alphabets. I'm going to try to keep it to like a low number of alphabets so you don't have to constantly redo something like that, but using the same alphabet to kind of undo something. It's going to be nice. You'll see when you get there. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Next step. Enigma. Let me confirm some of these answers for you. For the first 6 Enigma phase 2 problems. Obviously, we went over one of them together already. Number 1 should have been the father of modern computer science. Number 2 should have been wartime codebreaker. Number 3 is the one we went over. Bletchley Park, the government code and cipher school. At this point, you pretty much know who it should be. But anyway, number 4 should have been born in London, 1912. Number 5 should have been computing genius. And number 6 should have been incredible male mathematician.
Damn, Josh, he's a pretty good for your age. He does indeed.
Yeah. I had someone the other day like try to talk to me like I was like a young person. Like, no, like who didn't really know much. They're like, listen, you're just, starting out in your career, like that kind of thing, right? And I'm like,
Who is this?
it's just, I'm not going to share that information. But I'm just like, how old do you think I am? Like, seriously, how old do you really think I
I
am?
don't know who Liston is. He's just a mysterious encryption
Yeah, I feel
figure
like he's
that doesn't
talking
know what
about
he's
him.
doing.
He just messes up everything.
That's true. That's true. No, but I'm just so I'm just like, how old do you think I am? And they're just like, and I'm like, how old are you? And they're like, I'm 40. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 37. Like, you're 40. Ooh, you know so much more than I do that you're like talking down to me like I'm a child. But
I
anyway.
do that to my little siblings because they know nothing because they're stupid and dumb and my little siblings.
Okay.
It's just how it is.
All right. Next step. Wait, I gave you all of them. Yeah, number up through 6. Next step. Enigma. So I gotta go to the studio for this one.
Nice. Helping your brother out.
That's totally why.
That's great, man.
Go back.
Okay. So, like I said, we're going to watch this one all together. This is the flaw in the Enigma machine. I thought it was really interesting. He recaps a little bit about the Enigma machine, and then goes into the details as to what the flaw is and how the flaw could be exploited through basic cryptographic code-breaking techniques.
So in our first Enigma video, we left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. I was just about to show you the flaw in the Enigma machine. Now that video was only meant to be a short follow-up video. But when we saw the reaction to our first Enigma video, we decided to come in and film again to show you how that flaw worked and how they broke the Enigma code. Now, if you want to see the original Enigma video, it shows you how the Enigma machine worked. Go check that out. We'll put the links in the description. But now let's have a look at that flaw. So here's the Enigma machine again. Now, if I press the letter K, there we go, the letter Q lights up this time. Now, if I keep pressing the letter K, a different letter lights up each time. So a double letter would not be a double letter in the code. So it's a very good code indeed. But it is never K itself. So this was the flaw. A letter never becomes itself. So A is not A, B is not B, and so on. Z is not Z. This is a clue. So the way you break the Enigma code is if you imagine you have an Enigma message, you try and guess a word or a phrase that might appear in that message. Now, every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, the Germans would send a weather report. Now, that was a standard form. That was always the same every day, apart from the actual weather. It was always a standard format. So we can pick a word that's going to be in that weather report. We might pick the word or phrase weather report or Wetterbericht in German. And I apologize now if I've translated that badly. Mein Deutsch ist sehr schlecht. Entschuldigung. Now, I'm going to write Wetterbericht on a piece of paper.
That's weather report.
That's weather report there in German. Here, I've got an Enigma code. And I'm going to slide my guess underneath the code. And I'm going to try and find where this phrase fits in the message. Now, I know a letter can't become itself. So it can't fit here because I have a T becoming T. So that's not where it fits. Let's try this. Can it fit here? No, I've got this T matching with T again. Let's try here. Now, I've got no matching. From what I can see, no matching letters there, so it might fit there. If I try that, see, look, those R's match up, so it can't fit there. So maybe it's here. Maybe this is the phrase weather report. Now, from this point, we can start breaking the Enigma code. So you could use different phrases. Try and imagine what a German officer would send in World War II. So, for example, messages would end with Heil Hitler. So is it Heil Hitler at the end of the message? Now, if it is, we shouldn't have any letters matching with Heil Hitler. H's, E's, I's, L. What the British codebreaker Alan Turing had to do was find a way to use this flaw to break Enigma messages. So he built a huge machine called the bomb machine. It was designed by Alan Turing and another codebreaker called Gordon Welchman. It was a big machine, noisy thing. It would rattle around. And this could help you break the code in under 20 minutes. So you would have to break the code every morning. So every morning, the settings for the Enigma machine would change. So all the Enigma machines would change stroke of midnight. So that's why a machine that could break the code that quickly was so important. So the bomb machine tried to work out the plug board at the front of the Enigma machine. If we go back, at the front of the Enigma machine, we have this thing called the plug board that connects letters into pairs. You actually make 10 pairs of letters. When I press a letter, the signal first goes through the plug board. It then goes through the first rotor, through the second rotor, through the third rotor. It then loops back. Then it goes through the machine again in reverse order. So then it goes through the third rotor, the second rotor, the first rotor, and finally it goes through the plug board one more time and it lights up one of these bulbs. Now I'm going to try and draw that for you, but I'm going to make it as simple as I can. Let's try and do that. So first of all, it goes through the plug board, then it goes through all the rotors. And I'm going to call that just one big magic box called R for rotors. And the last thing it does is it goes through the plugboard. If we look at our weather report here, let's look in the second place. T becomes E. Let me do that. If I press T, it goes through the plugboard, through all the rotors, through the plugboard again, and out comes E. Now we're going to use this to work out the plugboard. I'm going to make one guess. I'm going to guess T is connected to A on the plugboard. That's a guess, but I'm going to use it. So let's say that means that T goes through the plugboard and out comes A. Now A goes through the rotors. Now we know how the rotors are wired up. So we know that, we pick a position and find out what happens to A. That's not hard to do. And I don't know, let's make something up. Let's say it comes out as P. But if I do that, I can deduce that P goes through the plugboard and becomes E, which means I can deduce that P is connected to E on the plugboard. Now that's pretty cool. So you've worked out one of the plugboard settings. If that diagram works, P must be connected to E. So I've done this a few more times doing the same method using my weather report crib, and I've discovered a few more plugboard settings. So the first one we discovered was PE. Now I've discovered K and Q are connected on the plugboard. I've discovered X and B are connected on the plugboard, and I've discovered T and G are connected on the plugboard. But this last one is a problem. I've discovered that T and G are connected on the plugboard, but I guessed that T and A were connected on the plugboard, and it can't be both. This is called a contradiction. It can't be both TA and TG at the same time. This means my guess, the TA, was wrong. Throw it away, I got it wrong. Now I'm going to check the next one. What, TB? I might check TC, TD. I have to do all 26 options. TA, TB, TT, TZ. If all the 26 options are wrong, that means your rotor position is wrong. And what you do is you go click, you check the next rotor position, and you go through all that again. Now that would take a very long time. So Alan Turing came up with two ways to make this a bit quicker. The first one, a really clever idea. He noticed that once you found one mistake, like TA and TG, this means that all these other deductions are also wrong, and they don't need to be checked. So they're all fruit of a poison tree. They can all be rejected at the same time, and you don't need to check them again. So that really speeds it up. The other way to speed it up is you can do this instantaneously with electrical circuits. So that's what the bomb machine did. It had applied electrical current to my assumption, TA. The electrical current flows through the machine. It flows through TG, which means wrong. But it would also flow through all these other deductions, which means I can find all my deductions, which are all wrong, and I can do it instantaneously with electrical circuits. And then it will go click and check the next. And it could go through all the rotor positions in about 20 minutes. So the main thing to remember is the bomb machine is built a little bit backwards. It's a process of elimination. And so what you're left with is what wasn't wrong. And you would actually check that by hand and see if it works. The bomb machine was named in honor of a Polish code-breaking machine called Bomba. Bomba was a completely different machine, worked on a completely different principle. It wasn't a huge machine. You could sit it on your desk if you wanted to. And it exploited a flaw in the German procedures. Now, they could use Bomba, the Polish could use Bomba to break Army and Air Force Enigma codes, but they couldn't break naval Enigma codes. So what Alan Turing had to do was find a way to break Army, Air Force, and Navy Enigma codes. And it had to be a bit more robust so that if the Germans choose to change their procedures, that this method would still work. What the Navy was doing differently is the rotor starting positions were actually sent at the beginning of each message, but they were sent in another code entirely. So it was a completely different code just to send the rotor starting positions. So you need to work out how that worked as well before you could even start breaking the naval code.
Is there anything that the makers of the Enigma machine could have done to have avoided this problem? Was there some simple thing that the Enigma makers could have put into that device there and it would have not have been broken like this.
Well, hindsight is a fabulous thing. You wanted to make it so that a letter could become itself. That was the flaw. And so the British saw Enigma. They said, that's a good idea. We'll have that. They nicked the idea. We saw Enigma and we decided to make one of our own. We called it the Type X machine, except we took out the flaw. So a letter could sometimes become itself. This made it a more secure machine. Now, from what I've heard, the Germans tried to break our code, but they concluded that it was better than the Enigma machine. So they gave up trying. At least that's what I've heard. It's very difficult to know for sure. It was all very secret.
Okay. So, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. Just the idea that this guy got to mess around with like an actual Enigma machine from World War II. And I don't know. Obviously, there was a huge flaw in it, but and it gave a little bit more insight into what Turing was actually doing. It's very simple to say, oh, he's building a computer. Yes, he was building a computer, and we take it for granted that computers can do that kind of stuff, but he was literally building it from the ground up. Okay. We have approximately 35 minutes left. I wanted to take the next step in the movie. Now, I will tell you again, next week, I am going to have a handout with some basic questions about the movie and whatnot. Obviously, if you are absent or whatnot, you could always, just for anybody here, anybody online, if you're absent, you could always just watch the movie. Of course, it's a very entertaining movie, in my opinion. But I would like to pick up where we left off right here. So now, for the sake of YouTube not disabling my account, I am going to have to end the live stream officially now and say to those who are here with us to please watch the next 30 minutes. We are currently, and this is what I did as well. I did this as well, but we're currently at 1 hour, 1 minute, 0 seconds. I would like you to watch the next 30 for those of you that are online. It's the same link that I posted last time, which, by the way, you guys didn't have any problems getting on the computer and whatnot? Cool, because I left the directions for the sub to be like, who logged on? Oh, he did? Oh, okay. I thought one of you guys would have.
Logan figured it out.
No. Okay, whichever. But yeah, so I'm going to sign off on the live stream. Thank you guys for joining us today. Like I said, I am going to be posting an assessment for modular stuff that we've been doing. But yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. And yeah, go enjoy the next 30 minutes of the movie. Yeah. Going to end that there. I feel like we're going to end on